Alright, coming back at you with a replay with the Khorne versus Khorne mirror match. It was a great game. Really enjoyed this one. You'll see. It's got some fun moments in it for sure. So yeah, let's get the show on the road. I'll talk a little bit more about what I brought and why as we get into this. You know, really the biggest thing that we differ on here is I brought my cultists in reserve, and he started off with his, and I decided instead I would just spend it on the Exalted Bloodletters, because I've been super impressed with how powerful they are. I mean, they are incredible units, amazing against every single infantry in the game, and any small targets for that matter. And man, you know, You'll see. I've got another replay that I'm already putting out that also showcases what one unit can do against Grand Cathay. Ridiculous stuff. Halberds and the Khorne Warriors are going to be a little slower getting to the middle, but that's okay. You know, he's taking the high ground here. He's going to play footsie with me. We're both just going to chill and wait. I didn't know what he had, so I was actually using Skarbrand to scout, and right there was where I could finally see his army. And I saw he had the two cultists, so I couldn't really just dive in and get a head-on fight against his Skarbrand. I think that would have been fun. You know, wasn't to be though. His warriors are moving up to the high ground as well, and not too much going on. I summoned in some flesh hounds in the back here because I'm figuring on getting mobile at some point in this battle. Flesh hounds are an incredible unit, and you need to take advantage of them every step of the way playing as Khorne, because they are one of the most important units on the battlefield for you. He's bringing in more dual weapon warriors. So I'm just going to bank some resources and just hang on for a minute, you know, just take positions, get ready for a scrap in the middle, because we both see the armies that we're playing, and we both know that the right thing to do is just have a proper bloody brawl. So, you know, he's going to get in position here. Strong flanking force, a huge overload, but, you know, as you'll see in a minute, I've got an answer to how to stop all this from getting down into the valley. Keep my Exalted Bloodletters forward. I was thinking, you know, since Skarbrand can't fly, he'd have to run all the way around this side to get to these dual weapon warriors. So I moved my guys forward, my Exalted Bloodletters, push them back, and he brings in a Bloodletter of his own in response. And here he comes. He sees me moving all my units, and he's going to try and sneak into the middle here and get an engagement. Drops his summons. I pull my guys back in because, you know, I want these guys in the meat of the fight. They are going to do work against everything he has, except for Skarbrand. Skarbrand will put a whooping on these guys, so, but they do poke back. Ideally, though, I want to keep them alive long enough where they can get their little Hellblade buff. So the fight going down here in the middle, man. I'm charging him with Skarbrand, and my own summon coming in from my cultist here is just chilling on horseback. It's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. Mine are saturated on his halberds and his dual weapons. And right here you can see the Skarbrand duel kicking off. And yeah, as you can see, you know, I'm putting a beating on him, but those cultists are putting in their damage as well on Skarbrand here for my army. He's getting worked on pretty good right now, you know, he's down to about half health, and my opponent's 3/4 of the way. The rest of the army fight over here, gonna get flesh hounds on flesh hounds, gonna be not much of anything to write home about, but here we go. Exalted Bloodletters getting in on these warriors right here, man, and they're gonna chew through them. Look at this, I mean, it's just absolutely crazy how much damage they do. My Khorne Warriors are gonna suffer against the Bloodletters here, but that's okay for now. Over here, man, the Skarbrand duel is going really poorly for me. My Lord bellows rage, gets in another attack before he dies, but he's gone. That's it, and my opponent's got a decently healthy Skarbrand left here, as you can see. But in the meantime, his infantry have gotten absolutely ground down. It's because these Bloodletters here, these guys, they shred. They have no sympathy at all for any infantry unit in the game. And they've pretty much been responsible for rounding off the balance of the Khorne Warriors and of the dual weapons and the halberds there. And pull it up here. See, they already got 81 kills, man. They put in work. Opponent gets the surround, though, now. I was pretty scared at this point because he had a lot of units in this tar pit. Dropped my second summons behind his units to try and grind down these bloodletters and get them off the field. His dual weapon warriors are running from my bloodletters, and man, oh man, his Skarbrand's getting worked on right now. Just in this huge pit fight with all of these armor-piercing units, halberds, bloodletters, and both of my cultists are here now. They were my 2 reinforcements that I brought in because I knew I was going to need their help. And honestly, bringing them in a little later, they're healthy, they're fresh. These guys have been in fighting or in combat for a while now. And they're getting worked on by my guys who are fresh, ready to go. Dropped both their summons, so now all they can do is grind. But here we go. You see these summoned bloodletters just holding up his units a little bit to keep my exalted bloodletters down here in the pits, just absolutely chewing through all these halberds and other Khorne units. In the meantime, I'm going to capture my objective. He captured his early, I captured the middle, and then moved Fleshhounds on here late just to get it. Summon in some Furies, still trying to keep these bloodletters out of there, because I really needed to get rid of this halberd unit. And I'm bringing one of my own in. They got hit by the Skarbrand breath attack. He's only got 200 health. He almost crumbled out of there for a minute there, but he managed to stay in, but now these halberds pin on both fronts. And Skarbrand's got to get in here and do something, but he's not going to be long for this world against those 50... They've already got their buffs. The 50 weapon damage that these bloodletters do, man. They're merciless. They got... Look at the melee attack now with that huge buff that I just threw down. And everything that he's got here is getting wrecked. The Khorne dual weapons, the halberds, Skarbrand's gone. One of his cultists is down here also getting destroyed by the halberds and the bloodletters. So their cultist is close to breaking, and I've got my guys just roaming around the battlefield cleaning up. I'm trying to get this cultist to finish his off. But at this point, they're not much of a threat, really. Could have left them alone. And here we go. I brought some more meat into this fight. I brought the Minotaurs of Khorne to hold the line. Saw all of these units that he was bringing in, and these guys, you know, one of the best things they do is they beat Fleshhounds down, you know. So I saw he kept summoning in Fleshhounds. I was figuring he was leaning really heavily into that, so they'd be a good investment. So they got that anti-large, and it's a hefty amount too, man. So they'll just put these guys down. They'll put them to sleep easy, no problem. My bloodletters and my halberds all piling into this huge fight, and the fact that these bloodletters have been going for so long, they made back their value just a little bit more, and man, did they mulch through a lot of units. Expensive units that my opponent committed. These ones with 2,000 value. Absurd, and they are so tattered, and you know, they're still getting kills out here, man. They are absolutely incredible. Just doing my damnedest to try and finish this fight here. I'm really banking up resources at this point to summon in Skarbrand again, because I figured that would put an end to my opponent. You can see I'm up decently on tickets now. And he's gonna have, he's responding, you know. He's bringing in these halberds, he's bringing in the bloodletters, he's gonna move them up onto this point, my back objective, and just stay out of the middle. He's got units holding here, but they're not long for this world anymore. They're getting destroyed, and I think my opponent was smart to not commit anything else to this fight. Just try and get the rest of his forces out here to, you know, try and change the momentum of this battle. You know, because I don't have a whole lot down here that can go and tangle with these guys. If I took everything I could, then he could summon in some Fleshhounds and just take the middle from me, probably. Use my cultists and the Minotaurs here to just chase this routing unit, because there's nothing here to help them. So they can just get free value and make sure that this, you know, they've still got 50 models. They can still come in here and put pressure on this objective, because I'm planning, once I've cleaned these guys up, to use this goon squad to go back up to the high ground once Skarbrand's able to come back in and get into the fight here. So I'm just doing my best to get rid of them. That way these tattered 2 units can do a little bit of holding at least. I think maybe one of the smartest things I could have done actually was take this unit to the high ground and force him to summon something in and to get rid of these guys. Because if I'm capturing this objective, you can't just let me have it because I've got such a huge lead on him, you know. At this point, he needs the 3-cap to win the battle, and he's going to go for it. I leave off on the warriors. They're rallying now. They're wavering, really damaged. And I'm bringing my 2 cultists and my minotaurs up here. So my opponent, he brought his cultist back in. He's going to drop the summons, but he does it a little bit too late. These guys are able to squeeze past, and here we go. This is what happens. Oh, this snow blindness is awful. But anyways, Skarbrand's in here now. He is absolutely laying a beat down on this cultist who's getting absolutely destroyed. Very unfortunate for him. He's terrified. You don't imagine Khorne cultists being scared of much, but Skarbrand would certainly be a terrifying sight on the battlefield. My opponent uses his summons to run down here, but they haven't really done anything in all that time. They'll get a little bit of damage in against my Chaos Halberds, because all my attention's up here. I'm trying to micro Skarbrand onto the cultist, and I'm trying to get mine onto his as well. I really just want that gone, because he's going to apply steady damage to Skarbrand. I'm bringing in Furies. They're going to get destroyed by the Bloodletters. They're, you know, meat to the pot, I guess, because I need Skarbrand to get rid of this cultist, and then he can come in here and finish all these guys off without having someone chipping away at him. Minotaurs are just going to stay down here. I figured that I could retake this objective quicker than I was. I really guess I should have brought them up here, but got both of my units about to engage onto this unit of Bloodletters and the Khorne Halberds. He's got his other cultists down here too now. He's really pushing for the middle. He really needs it if he's going to win this game. It's getting really, really close, but he does have this objective, and he's got a significant force down here, and I don't have a lot of resources. I bring in some Flesh Hounds, trying to chew through Bloodletters. I did not realize these were summons for a minute when I brought these guys in, so I just have them charge directly into the back of them. Some of his units are routing over here, and these Bloodletters, man, they're just tearing apart my infantry there. But the Minotaurs are having a great time, getting lots of kills, holding the line. And here we go, Skarbrand in the middle. Out here on the edge with no support anymore. Cultists routing off from him. Halberds, Bloodletters, and Flesh Hounds all attacking him at once, and he's beating the brakes off of these guys. You can see the amount of damage and carnage that he has done. Certainly got his money back. He got about 2,500 the first time around when he got absolutely schwacked by my opponent's goon squad. And him just grinding up here and taking care of all of these units so successfully is really, really making it hard, because I'm going to be able to keep these Flesh Hounds here and then move Skarbrand back down into the middle. My opponent's slowly capturing this. It's so slow, though. I've got just enough units on here to make the difference. And right now, you know, I mean, I've been fighting off of it for that very reason, that he had to get something around the side. So here comes Skarbrand going right into the back of the Flesh Hounds. Oof. Just getting in there with his big axes, man. Throwing him into the ground. He's not having any of this shit. You can see how much health he took off in just like a couple of swings on those guys. And over here, you know, Minotaurs still alive, killing off these Bloodletters. I'm going to push them onto the point so they can provide a little bit of capture power, because it's still slipping away from me. You can see up here, my opponent, he's going back, you know, he wants to hold this point. He really needs it, man, and he's bringing in Flesh Hounds and Furies to get in here on my Flesh Hounds. And here they come, the cavalry. Exalted Bloodletters are going to be running in here, and they're going to be trying to get onto this point, you know. It's so close against my opponent, and my Minotaurs are providing a little bit of capture weight. And you can see here that, you know, these summons, they don't provide any capture power. So all he's got now is a unit of Bloodletters that's, sorry, this tattered unit of Bloodletters and the Flesh Hounds. And they don't count for nearly as much as the Minotaurs, but I'm losing mons fast. I really need these Bloodletters here if I'm going to hold this. Fight up here is a bit of a wash. Commit another unit of Fleshhounds there just to hold the line, and they start chewing in on these guys. You know, some Tattered Halberds and more Fleshhounds. Skarbrand here has been put in work. Absolutely disgusting value on him this game. He has been holding the line, kicking ass, taking names. And you can see my Bloodletters are on the point. I'm just going to hold him here. And at this point, it's too late for my opponent to come back, even with the 2-cap. But it was a really close game. Really incredibly close. Love it. You love to see it. Here, last of the Fleshhounds fall.
Unending glory
There we have
is
it.
yours.
Let's get a good look at the value on all these units, you know. As for what I could have done differently in that game, I made mention of a few of the things I could have done. You know, my opponent played really well. I don't really have any criticisms of his style. I think it works really well, and he got good value on a lot of his units. Honestly, I just think that the Exalted Bloodletters in the first wave really paid off because it put me up on my opponent at the end of that huge grind. Obviously, when my Skarbrand went down really early, I was really behind, but man, this infantry corps managed to grind its way back into that match. Kept me in power on that central point, and I was able to hold long enough with the 2-cap before he got his, so that I was able to just squeak out a victory against him. All my other stuff here did decently, you know. His units all paid for themselves except for the infantry. Not a good day when your infantry can't win in a Khorne fight. You can see here, they just got destroyed here. These guys were the ones up on that second point fighting against Skarbrand. They got a lot of value off of him. Good value on these Bloodletters too. Really, really solid units, you know. You know, everything on Khorne's roster is really solid, honestly. It's going to be interesting to see how they play against the second game's factions when they come out, because good lord. Feel like there's going to be some interesting matchups there. Alright, anyways, that's going to do it for this one. I'll see you guys later.